Hey, what's poppin', guys? It's Eric here, ready to do this post tutorial for you. This is video 2 of a mini series of 4 videos all about fetch. And in the last video, which was awesome, we made this search inventory for this car dealership. We're calling it Hot Rides. And then we're going to post data to an API. That's what we're doing in this video. And the next 2 videos are going to cover updating information. So let's say hypothetically you put in the wrong car, or let's say you put the VIN in incorrectly. You're going to want to update that information. So we're going to do a patch request, okay? And in the video after that, we're going to do a delete request so that we can actually remove inventory from our system. Maybe we sold it or did a dealer trade, but either way, the car's leaving the dealer and on its way out the door, so we're going to have to remove it from our inventory. But today, we're adding to our inventory because we picked up 2 hot new rides, and we're going to put them in to what you see here. Right now, we just have an Aston Martin, a couple Teslas, a Mercedes, and an Infiniti, and we've got a Jaguar to add, and actually a concept car that doesn't even exist yet, the i4, which I read about earlier today. It's an electric car that's going to compete with Tesla. I think it's going to be really cool, so this is going to be a very futuristic video because technically the car doesn't exist. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and do a super quick look at what we did last time, okay? Just as a refresher. And if you didn't catch that video, please go check it out. It's all about GET requests, okay? So I'm just going to show you the interface that we made and what it does, and then we'll move on to adding cars. So first of all, if we just land here, we can hit show all cars. That gives us everything in our inventory. Right now we have 5 cars. If I want to search by color, I can put in, say, blue, hit search. I'm only going to get the blue cars. I know that looks black, but technically it's like a blue car. It's just very dark. I can put in white, and I can also search by model. One of the models in here is, there's Teslas. So we'll put in Tesla real quick. Oh, sorry, the model, that's a make. One of the models in here is Vantage. That's a Aston Martin. We can go to make, and we can do Tesla. Search. Now, if you remember from the last video, we can also make a GET request just by going to this API here. Now, in fact, that's what this button does here, is make a request to the exact same URL. And the reason I'm here in my browser again is because I wanted to grab a VIN. So these are all the VINs that are in the system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this VIN out real quick. I'm going to throw that bad boy right here, and I'm going to search for this specific VIN. Maybe I had a customer come in and was like, I need to know if this car's still in inventory. So I'm like, okay, what's the VIN? Or whatever identification number we've given in the system. Maybe there's a stock number or something, but this is going to work just the same, right? So I'm going to hit search, and boom, there's our Aston Martin. Hey, yes, sir, it's still in inventory. Would you like to take it for a test drive, right? So that being said, today we have some new arrivals. We have some new cars coming in, and we need to add them to our system. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a post request, right? GET request is for getting data. Post request is for adding data. And I'm going to basically do one post request with just straight code. Then I'm going to make an interface for it just like I did here, and show you how I would make the app myself if I was making an app. And this is exactly the same process I do. If I'm going to make a post request, I'm going to do that before I make an interface for it, because I want to make sure the API is doing what I hope it's doing, right? So let's do this real quick. Let's write the actual syntax for a post request, okay? And we're going to be, when we received this JSON over here, JavaScript object notation, we're also going to be sending JSON. So what I'm going to do is, you can see this is all the code we wrote last time. I'm going to come down here, and I'll probably put some comments in here now. Add inventory. And up here, we'll just say this is search inventory, like we have it in our front end. Search inventory. Inventory. Okay, cool. Now, let's add a car by just refreshing our page. I don't want to build that interface yet. Okay, cool. So let's refresh this real quick just so you can see. We've got all the same cars that you see over here. Nothing's changed, just those 5 cars. Sweet. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and make our first car. I'm going to say var, not that. I'm going to say var. Actually, let's just say let new car equal, and we'll put it in an object. We're going to actually turn this to JSON in a second. So I'm going to say the new car is going to have the same properties as this one. So actually I could come over here and just get this stuff. So it's going to have year, make, model, and a photo. Okay. So let's go back here. Now the difference between JSON and an object is really just these quotes around the key of each property. So if I get rid of those, I'll have an object. Now I do need to put a string around an actual string, or quotes around an actual string. And so the make, the first one we'll add, let's add our I4. So the make is going to be in BMW, and the model is going to be an I4. I guess that's how they'll write it. They'll probably put it as a lowercase, knowing BMW. Color, I think it was a red. I think it was red. I don't want to go check. I'm just going to put red. And the VIN, I'm just going to get a random VIN generator. So I could have just made this up, but this is a website that gives them to you. So easy enough, right? So now I'm going to put in a fake VIN here, like so. And that's going to go in quotes because it's a string. Now the photo's a little trickier. Now I could just post this as is with no photo, okay? But I've downloaded some photos. I have some photos ready. You need to have them uploaded somewhere on the internet. I like to use Firebase, and this isn't a Firebase tutorial, but you can upload it through their web interface, and that's what I'm going to do right now. If you want to check out a cool course on Firebase and how to upload things with doing it through code and not through their web interface, check out my Firebase course. You're going to love it. But for now, we can come right over here, and this is where I have my other photos. You just guys click here, and they're all in the cloud, so I can use those. And that's actually how these are all showing up over here. I just have them uploaded to Firebase. And then I get a URL. The URL is here. I just grab that, and I put that in my thing. So let's upload our files. I'm going to upload both of them right now, like so. Open. And it's 6 and 7. I'm not sure which one's the I4. Let's see. Oh, wait. 6 is down here. Okay, that's the Jag. There's our I4. So I want to get this URL right here. And I'm going to put this right here with this photo. That way it has a photo. Bam, ready to go. Okay, cool. So that's the body we're going to post. Now for the actual fetch request, we're going to say fetch. Okay, it's all about fetch, right? Fetch is the bomb. Now we are going to go to the API endpoint. It's going to be very similar, and every API is different, so you have to look at their documentation. I made this API as an example, so I know what the endpoint is without looking at documentation. But my, I'm going to go right here, API. I'm going to get this. This is where our GET request lives, and add car is going to be a very similar API endpoint. It's API add /car. Okay, and that only takes a post request. You can't get anything from it. Okay, I'll prove that to you. If I go here, it will say cannot get. And that's another way to know that these are GET requests that are happening in your browser. It says cannot get, capital GET. So when you do that in your browser, you're making a GET request, which is really cool that it does that at least, right? So that being said, it is a post. You can't post through your browser, so we have to do this through code. The second parameter of our fetch needs to be, there needs to be more information. If you noticed up here where we made a GET request, all we had to do was basically for the Giphy API or our own API, is we just had to put that in, and then we did the .thens, and we were all good, right? The post request is a little bit more complicated. It's not too bad at all, but you have to add a couple extra things, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. So those extra things are going to look like this. We're going to add in the method, okay? The method is post, okay? And then we're going to need a body, and the body is going to be what you're sending over, okay? So I'm going to, you would think you could probably just do new car here, right? And you're pretty much right. We want to put the new car in, the object that we have up here, right? But we need to JSON.stringify it because it only takes JSON, okay? .stringify, and then we're going to put in new car, okay? Just like that. Now the next thing that we need is we need to add in headers, and this allows us to tell the API what we're sending over, what to expect. And for headers, we're going to add in the content type. And this actually looks weird, but it has to go in quotes, okay? And then you're going to put the colon, and we're going to say application / JSON, okay? Now, I could just go copy these because they're identical, .then, but what I'm going to do is write it because I want you to see it's not that hard to write. You don't have to copy everything. So I'm going to say .then, and we like these to be on new lines, right? And so I'm going to say .then, and we're going to say data, and when the data comes back, okay, we're not expecting the same thing that we got in the GET request in the last video, but we're expecting a message saying it was successful, okay? So I'm going to say data, and it's still in JSON format, even though it's not car data. It's a message data, right? It's JSON for success. So now I'm going to say data .json. JSON, okay? This right here is going to resolve to JSON, and then it's going to be pushed back through the .then, okay? The next .then. And then now this data down here is cleaned up JSON basically, and now we can log it, okay? Log it. Log message. You know what? Actually, this is what I want to do. I want to go ahead and build this out. We could log it, but I want to actually tell the user. So I'm going to say alert. Alert data dot success, because that's what's in the message. Okay. Actually, let's just log data, and then I'll show you what success looks like, because you'll see the JSON in the alert. Okay. And then it'll make more sense when I do the dot success in the next post. Okay. Now, that's looking really good. So let's go ahead and run this and see what happens. Okay. Let's open up this, and this must have been, oh yeah, this is the GET. Sorry, we're over here. Let's go here, and this is not important. Don't worry about that. Refresh. Okay, so this is what happened, guys. I actually went to the wrong URL because when I built the API, I forgot to add this in. So it's just when you build your API, it's however you build it. I built it at API add car. So if we refresh again, boom. Now it says object, and that's because I tried to print an object to the alert. So I'm going to say data dot, first of all, we know it worked because it gave us the .then came back, okay? So if I go over here to the JSON where we had our fetch request, right, and refresh, you can now see that the BMW has been added. Woo! Yeah, how does that feel? All right, yeah, it's getting exciting, right? Yeah, like that. All right, so now let's clean this up a little bit, okay? And I'm actually gonna have to add a car a few times. We're gonna have duplicates because I want you to see this. So let's go back to logging. I know I talked about that a second ago, and let's look at what that actually is that we're logging is the data, okay? Instead of alerting. Okay, so let's take a look real quick here. It's coming back. That's okay. So let's take a look. Let's add again. Okay. Okay, there it is, success. So we get back that object, and that makes sense. It printed object. So if we go back, sorry, we're bouncing around. Sometimes that's how it is working. We go to success. Every time I refresh the page and I get that message, I'm actually adding another car of the exact same thing. I'm adding this car, right? So now, let's refresh again. Car has been added. That's our message. That actually came from the server. Notice there is no car has been added over here. That came from the server. That was the thing we saw in the log over here. So now, let's go back and look at the JSON. I should have 3 BMW i4s in here because that's how many times I added it, right? Which is fine. But that's why you need full CRUD. And you probably heard of CRUD. It's create, read, update, and delete. That's what we're doing through this fetch tutorial. So don't worry, we're going to be able to remove these. This is actually perfect that they're here. That'll set us up for the next video, because when you're working in any kind of a system, like maybe you add too much data, maybe you need to change data, maybe you need to remove data, and the next videos are about changing and removing. Heck yeah. Okay, so now, let's do this. Let's make an interface. Okay, one of my favorite things to do, I love programming, and that's the first step, okay? But I also love making interfaces. So I'm going to show you how to make an interface comparable to the one we already made for search inventory, right? And what we want is the same things that are in here, right? So we want to make an interface for taking in the year, make, model, color, and photo. I'm actually going to copy this, go back to HTML, and I'm going to do it right here, Okay, so I'm going to comment these out because this is what I need. These are the data points I need. I don't need BMW or anything like that. That's coming from my app. Okay, so now and year, we do need year. Okay, cool. So this is looking good. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now what we'll do is we're going to make another grid. Okay, so if you remember, we came down here and we did some CSS, so we have some grid here. Now how many items are we adding? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's do a grid of 3. Okay, so I'm going to say this. I'm going to say add car. Okay, and then I'm going to say display grid, and I'm going to actually have 3 of these instead of, that'll give me 2 rows of 3 for 6 total. And then now I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to say div hashtag add car. Okay, and then in here we're going to have essentially 6 inputs, but we might as well get the first one the way we want. We want to say first of all, this can actually be a form tag. Okay, because we're making a form. Okay, now we can say required, and we can also say the ID of this is going to be equal to, what's the first one? Year. Let's start there. And then pretty sure that's all. Maybe we could put placeholders in there so we know what placeholder is going to equal year, so we know what it looks like, right? And going to do that 6 times, right? It looks like 6. And the next one is going to be make. Not here. Make. And then the model. It's a model. Yeah. Color. And then we're going to put in the Vinny boy. And what's left? The photo. Lastly, we're going to put in a photo, right? Okay. I should have put that. Okay, there we go. So let's see what our interface looks like. And then last but not least, we'll need a button. And actually that ends up making it 7 because the button will end up stretching to meet it. So this will drop down to the next level right now. But I think what we can do is clean that up. Let's take a look at what we've got though so far. Okay. Oh gosh, we have to comment out. Now we have 4 BMW i4s because we need to comment this out for a second until we get it into the submit event, okay, of the add car. Okay, do that. Now let's do this. What did our interface? Oh, we forgot to add the inputs on there. The class name, it kind of looks a little wonky. Did what we wanted, but we want it to be styled like this, right? And if you guys recall, if you watched the last video, and you may not have, I'm just going to remind you, I used UIKit for this. So what I did was I added this up here for the UIKit just to make things look a little bit nicer. Has no effect on the JavaScript whatsoever. Just makes things look nicer. So what we'll do is we'll add that in to all these inputs, okay? So we'll say class is going to equal UK input. Okay, and then on the button, we're going to say class equals UK dash button, UK dash button dash primary. Okay, now it should look a little bit nicer. Yeah, bala shakala. That looks looking good, right? Okay, now let's I think I like the button there. The photo is going to be a little bit longer URL, so we could drop down and do 4s, but you know what? I think that's fine. I think that's looking pretty good. All right, so now what do we need to do? What's the next step? And if you said make an event listener, you are 100% correct. Give yourself a pat on the back. If you don't, I will. Okay, you're doing awesome. I'm glad you're keeping up. Now check this out. The event listener is going to be no different than this right here. Same thingy-majig. It listens to the event. So let's do this. We're going to say that. We're going to close it. And like that. Okay. Now I'm going to listen to the submit event of this. And that's going to make it so that I can tell people they need to add other stuff in. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. And I'm going to say E and then e.prevent default. If you know a little bit about forms, basically this is going to keep the page from reloading, and then I'm going to log works. This is always the first step when you're making an event listener. Make sure it works. Don't be a bum, guys. Just kidding. Now check this out. Hit the car button. See, oh, now it says this is required, right? And it should for all of these because I put that on there. You have to have a color. You have to have a VIN. You have to have all that. And then it looks like, what happened? It looks like it refreshed. My prevent default didn't work. Prevent default. That's weird. Oh, let's see here. Button. Oh, I need to listen to the ID. I think I was listening to search, right? Yeah, or submit on the other one. I put the click event of submit. I need to listen to this ID right here. The form's name is add car. We need to listen to that. Let's try it again. Put in some dummy data. Okay. Okay. And it works. Perfect. Now we need to get the values for all of these things. The easiest way to do this is we're going to take this object, okay, just like so, and we're going to put it right here. And we're going to put the values directly into the object and then log the object, okay? This is the shortest way to do this, the cleanest way to do this, and it makes the most sense too. So I'm going to say let new car equal, and that's going to be document.query selector, and then we're going to need to get the year, right? So one thing I forgot about, we don't have any type of search and search term. Okay, yeah, we don't, no IDs on there of the same thing. Okay, perfect. So we're going to say year dot value. Okay, and then to get the make, same exact thing, because that's the ID that we put on it, right? Let's go ahead and finish these out. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, sir. We got it done. Okay, cool. Now let's do this. Go back in here, put make on here, model. Oops. Yep. Color. You guessed it. VIN. Do you know what the last one is? If you don't, you weren't paying attention. Just kidding. Photo. You got it. Sweet. And then what do you think I'm going to log here? Ask yourself that. What am I going to log? I'm going to log new car, right? That's what I stored this in, new car. Let's check it out. Okay. We want to see all those values come back. So I'm going to say 2000, make, is going to be BMW, right? Model, I4. We already added this one. We're going to add a different one in a second, but this is the one we already added, red. And then it's got a VIN of something and a photo of something, right? Let's see what we got. Can I read property value of null? And that's on line 76. So let's see what we've got here. 76th. I put colo. Oh, it was supposed to be color. Okay. Too bad I have to refresh the page. Let's just put in some gibberish here. Make sure it's all coming in. And it is. There's our car, right? That's exactly what we wanted. Yes, we're on the right path. This is feeling awesome. All right, now, and of course everything else still works. We haven't changed any of that, right? Okay, cool. So, and check it out. Our BMW's there 4 times because we made that post. I forgot to show you that a second ago. Is the BMW is there. It's live and well. It's there 4 times. We're going to remove that. We're going to remove that in one of the next videos. But for now, we'll leave it there as our mistake for the reason of actually removing it later, right? That being said, now it's time to add the new car. And the new car is a Jaguar F-Type. It's a pretty bomb car. Now, what do you think needs to happen? If you guessed that this now needs to live inside of the submit event, you are 100% correct. And you are awesome. So, let's format that. Kind of get everything put in there. And we already know this thing works, right? It works. It's exactly what we want. So now, new car is not going to be the made up stuff we made up and hand coded it, hard coded in. It's now going to be coming dynamically from the form, right? And that's it. It's that simple. I know there's a couple moving pieces, but it's really simple. You're gonna absolutely love this. You're gonna love Fetch. You should start using it. Now refresh this, and we're gonna add in a 2018 The make is going to be Jag, and the model is going to be the F type, and the color was blue. I already have the photo. I downloaded it before we started. And then we need another fake VIN. Let's do another random VIN. Put that in there. Okay. And then the photo is number 6. There we go. Let's get the URL. We're going to put that in our right here. Boom. Okay. Add car. And did we forget to alert? I forgot to save. Okay. Sorry, it doesn't have, dang. What happened is this part wasn't actually in here because I forgot to save. We have to redo it. Okay, refresh. Okay, all will be well this time. We're going to say year 2018. Oops. And the make is going to be a Jaguar. Oh my gosh. And the model is going to be an F type. Color, red. No, blue. That was the BMW. And the VIN? No, I don't have the VIN anymore. Let's go get the VIN. Random VIN. Here we go. And add car. Car's been added. And then now, show all cars. And look at what's in our inventory. A beautiful Jaguar. We could have cleared this form too. So now I can do a search if I want for that VIN. And look, it's right there. Look at that. How beautiful is that? Tell me that's not beautiful. Okay. I get a little excited about web development. Come on, guys. I love it. So now I'm really picky. I don't like that this form didn't clear out because I might want to add another car right now, right? So what we want to do is we want to grab this right here and we want to clear the form. So when the data comes back, okay, we could actually do it here if we wanted to. But I think it's probably better to do it down here in the .then. And since we're going to be making a couple lines of code, you're going to need curlies. You can't just start writing the code there. So we're going to say this .addCar.reset. So that's going to reset the form. Okay. Now let's retry this again. I don't want any fake cars in here, so I'm going to just add the same one twice. It'll be the two. We'll put it in as a 17 this time, okay? And then we'll do Jag. The model was F type. And we'll do blue. And the VIN. Get the VIN again. And the photo was right here, right? Okay. And hopefully if all works exactly the way we want, and this will be the last step, then the car will add and the form will clear, leaving us ready to add a new car. Let's see what happens. Add, car has been added, form is clear. Now, just to prove it's in there, we'll go to show all cars, and there it is. We've added it twice. All right, so thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you had a blast. Please give it a like. Gives me encouragement to keep doing these and keep making free content. If you're not using Fetch, please start using it. There's no need for jQuery anymore. People are moving away from it. I suggest you do too. And you're the best. Please let me know if you like Fetch in the comments. And if you have any other requests or anything else important that's on your mind, I mean, put it in the comments. I'll try to get back to you on any of that stuff. You know, and help you with anything you possibly want help with. Just let me know what you're thinking. And if you like this video, yeah. So again, thanks so much. Peace.